In St. Lucia, as in many other parts of the world, electioneering is an activity that brings much divide among people. A time when the strangest bedfellows are bred, and when allegations of corruption, greed and incompetence are hurled among politicians. Election Countdown 2011 was designed specifically to bring a new paradigm to St. Lucia's political campaign process. Every political party and every candidate was afforded the same opportunities to address the concerns of their constituents directly. The program you are about to view is each candidate's best pitch to you, the voters of St. Lucia. The name Soufriere is a French term used to describe any volcanic area. Literally translated, it means sulfur in the air. In 1746, the French made Soufriere the first named town in St. Lucia. 33 miles of winding road separates it from the island's capital, Castries. Soufriere has always been a renegade constituency when electing politicians. Ever since adult suffrage in 1951, when it was first represented by GMD Bousquet, the people of Soufriere have switched from one political party to the other with a rhythmic pattern. The same candidate was never elected to serve consecutive terms until Walter Fossois broke the spell in 2001. It was Winston Snack who first represented the cause of the 3,409 registered voters in 1979, paving the way for Leonard Revere, Baden Alain, Edward Innocent, Walter Fossois, and now Soufriere's very own son of the soil, Harold Dalson, has earned the distinction of representing the plight of Soufrierians in Parliament. As far back as 1834, Soufriere has been called the breadbasket of St. Lucia because apart from having the most sugar plantations, Soufriere also boasted the most cocoa and coffee plantations. Today, it is still called the breadbasket, but the pain in its panier is now tourism. The community of approximately 8,500 residents brags of 4 of the best resorts in the world and a list of natural attractions that could only be compared to the Garden of Eden. The ruling party believes that the Piton's World Heritage status and tourism being the greatest contributor to GDP warrants this constituency's care and attention to be placed in the hands of their candidate, Alan Chastanet. Alan is to them what Michael Schumacher is to Ferrari, their star boy. He has earned a bachelor's degree in economics and political science and a master's in development banking. But it is in the field of tourism that Alan Chastanet has excelled. We sat down with Alan to understand why the progression into politics and why the constituency of Soufriere. Are you related to the Chastanets from Soufriere?
Yes, actually Charles Chastanet was my great-grandfather. The Montplezis who own Cubarrel Estate are my cousins. In fact, I used to spend my summer vacations here in Soufriere. So Anne Chastanet, which is named after the Chastanet family, is one and the same.
According to Chastanet, his upbringing in Sulphur City adds more fuel to the burning desire to represent the people of Soufriere for Saint-Jacques, and has defined the signature of his political campaign simply as time to deliver.
I think that the people in Soufriere have been promised a lot of things by both political parties, both the United Workers' Party and also Labour, and have not been able to deliver on some just basic things. So there is no one specific project, but in going out to meet the communities, the Hummingbird Beach project, the new bridge, water in Diamond, the showers and toilet facilities in Palmis, walkways up in Sulphur City, the walkways and footpaths, as well as the drainage up in Mini, the road up at Esperance, and clearing the road between Esperance and Diamond.
His plan is to show the residents of Soufriere that even before being the elected representative, he is still able to mobilize and lobby for projects to be completed on their behalf. His opponent calls these methods of community development unethical and accuses Chastanet of using the Soufriere Development Foundation as the nucleus of his political efforts and the financier of his pre-election projects.
The foundation has become a constituency group for the United Workers' Party.
The Soufriere Development Foundation has become a constituency group. What
They
caused you to say that?
They behave like that. Everybody that they have recruited, 99% of the persons they have recruited is a flambeau. They are seen right now all over the place, campaigning, openly campaigning for my opponents.
The U.W.P candidate categorically denies this and cites the current MP's lack of vision, lack of information, and deliberate attempts to mislead potential voters as the only reason to spew such venom. Chastanet went on to explain his source of funding.
The resources that we've been putting in through the town council and also through the foundation were not government resources and not resources from the foundation. So I went to hoteliers here, I went to private companies here, expressed to them the need to get certain projects done, identified what those projects were. I went to the Taiwanese ambassador, I invited him down here because the opponent here went and made statements that the Ambassador Tom Chu was person non grata in Soufriere, and that he would need, if I'm not mistaken, need a visa to come to Soufriere. The Labour Party has made it very clear that they're not interested in participating in the Taiwanese money. Now, at some point, that kind of principled position, if you want to call it so, has to take a backseat to the needs of the people. And I would have thought that Mr. Dalso, after Thomas, would have told his leader, Chief, I hear you, but the needs of my people are great. I can get money from the Taiwanese to fix up the problems in Soufriere. He didn't do that. Now he's making the assumption that he couldn't have gotten the money, but he can't show you one letter that he's written to the Taiwanese ambassador, one approach that he's made to the Taiwanese ambassador or to the Taiwan government, or even have a meeting with the Prime Minister and Taiwan, talk about the special needs of Soufriere and play a leadership role. But he took such a principled position on his side that he neglected the needs of the people.
He says that the funds raised by him for the development projects were paid directly into the foundation. He denies having any input in the selection of contractors used to execute these projects. However, he admits to being instrumental in which projects are implemented.
Wouldn't you say that it's unconventional, to say the least, for a vying candidate to be dealing directly with the foundation?
Why? The foundation is an independent body. The foundation stands on its own. It has its own board of directors. It's an institution by itself. It has its own source of funding. It gets money off of the dock and it gets money off of the sulfur springs. And it's a statutory body. I mean, it's completely independent. So the district rep here, he could have gone, he has meetings with them. I am now the designated person for United Workers' Party. We are on the eve of election, just in case nobody's figured that out. The last 3 months, you know, the Prime Minister said the elections are going to be before the end of the year. So I have to deliver.
And deliver, he says he has.
And I cannot go to the elections like other politicians and say, elect me, and once you elect me, I'm going to make these things happen. That's not going to work in Soufriere this time around. People have been given a lot of stones to hold. And when you go around Soufriere, that becomes very clear. So in this particular instance, what I did is I went to each of the communities and I asked them to identify one critical project they would like me to be able to achieve. Just